It seems like everywhere you look nowadays, AI is popping up. And you know what?
Yeah.
Even the world of Delphi programming isn't immune.
Yeah, it's true.
We're diving into Sophora today.
Oh, this should be interesting.
It's this brand new AI toolkit built just for Delphi developers.
And that's kind of unique, isn't it?
You rarely see AI tools that are really geared towards Delphi.
Most of them aren't. You're right.
Sophora is different. It puts the power of AI right there at your fingertips as a Delphi developer.
And the best part,
What's that?
it's all about privacy with this one. Sophora runs locally, entirely on your own machine.
So no need to send your data off to some,
Mysterious cloud.
Exactly, yeah. Big plus for anyone who's even a little bit concerned about keeping their data secure and who isn't these days.
Right.
So let's break this down a bit. Say you're a Delphi developer, but maybe you haven't really dug into AI too much.
Sure.
How does Sophora actually work? Walk us through it.
Well, at its core, Sophora uses this really powerful AI model called Defermes 3.
Okay, I've heard of that one.
It's pretty cutting edge.
It is.
Known for being super fast, which is always nice.
Yeah.
And it can tackle some really complex reasoning tasks. That's what makes it such a perfect fit for Sophora, because the whole point is to bring that kind of sophisticated AI power to Delphi.
So Defermes 3 is like the brains of the operation.
I like that analogy. Yeah.
But then how does Sophora handle all the information it needs to answer your questions, do tasks, all that? I mean, we're talking about potentially massive amounts of data here.
Right. And that's where things get really clever. Sophora uses this combo of regular SQL databases that you're probably familiar with,
Right.
and something called vector databases.
I'm less familiar with those.
So the SQL database is your workhorse for storing structured information.
Like what? Give me an example.
Customer records, financial data, anything organized in a table, basically. Sophora uses that for general knowledge stuff.
Okay.
But then you add in the vector database, and this is designed specifically for embedding.
Embeddings. Now, that's a word I've heard thrown around a lot lately, but
Yeah, it can be a little bit of a head scratcher at first.
it can. So explain it to me like I'm 5.
Okay, so think of embeddings as a way to represent really complex ideas.
Okay.
Like the meaning of an entire sentence as just a series of numbers.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's how Sophora understands the relationships between different pieces of information.
So it's like having this super organized filing cabinet for all the info Sophora needs with different drawers for different types of data, right?
You got it.
But why is that combination of SQL and vector so important? What does it actually do for me as the user?
It unlocks something called retrieval augmented generation.
Okay, that's a mouthful.
It is.
What does that even mean?
You can call it ARG for short.
Okay, argue.
Basically, it means Sophora can search through both of those databases, find the most relevant info based on whatever you ask it,
Okay,
and then use that info to give you a response.
so if I ask Sophora, what's the capital of France? It could zip through that SQL database, find the info, and tell me Paris.
Exactly.
Basic.
But it can go way beyond just basic facts.
Okay, give me something more complex.
Let's say you have a database packed with customer interactions.
Okay, got it.
And you want to know what are the most common complaints people are having.
Right.
Sophora can actually analyze the content of those interactions in the vector database, find the patterns, and give you a summary of the key issues.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it's pretty powerful.
But what about searching the web? It feels like that's such a crucial part of any AI assistant today.
Absolutely, and that's an area where Sophora is still evolving.
So it can't do it yet.
It can, but it's using this API called Tavily right now.
Okay.
For web search, you get some free calls with that.
Oh, that's good at least.
But the team behind Sophora, they're working towards a fully native Delphi solution.
Why is a native solution so important, though? Couldn't you just keep using Tavily or find some other third party?
You could, but it comes down to control and integration. When you rely on external APIs, it can be limiting. A native Delphi solution means you get tighter integration with the rest of your Delphi environment. It's faster. And you're not dependent on some other service that might change their pricing or terms,
Yeah, for sure.
It aligns with Sephora's whole philosophy. Like, they want to empower Delphi developers to do more on their own.
So Sephora's kind of like this bridge between the world of AI and the Delphi development.
That's a good way to put it.
So if you're listening to this and you work with Delphi, this means you could actually start building some really cool AI-powered apps without having to learn Python or rely on all these cloud-based services.
And those are often expensive.
Exactly. Yeah.
So it is pretty game-changing.
It is.
But Like any ambitious project, there are challenges ahead.
Of course.
The developers are constantly tweaking things to improve performance, expand support for all the different Delphi tools out there,
Right.
and of course, building that native web search.
That's a big one.
Yeah, Sophora is a work in progress.
It is, yeah.
Definitely a tool to keep an eye on.
So just to sum up for everyone, we have this local AI toolkit designed just for Delphi,
With privacy at its core.
powered by that impressive dFermi 3 model.
That's right.
It can reason, it can generate those embeddings we were talking about, even do function calling, all sorts of cool stuff. And even though it's still in development, it's clear that Sophora has a lot of potentials, especially if you're excited about AI and you want to apply it in your Delphi projects.
It's true. And as Sophora and other tools like it keep getting better, I think it raises some really important questions.
Yeah, like what?
We're making these crazy, powerful AI tools easier and easier to use, more
Yeah.
accessible.
Yeah.
It's exciting, right? To think about what people will create, but it also makes you wonder about the responsibility that comes with all this power.
You're giving me a lot to think about.
I hope so. That's the point.
It is, and that's something for everyone listening to ponder too. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive into Sophora. And until next time, keep on coding.
And keep on thinking.
See you.